It was supposed to be a peaceful Sunday morning. Birds chirping, the sun gently reflecting off the neighborhood pond, and Grandpa Joe sitting on his old folding chair with his favorite fishing rod, just like he'd done every weekend for the past 5 years. But peace was the last thing on the agenda once Karen, the self-appointed HOA enforcer with a clipboard and a Bluetooth headset permanently attached to her ear, spotted him. She marched over, high heels clicking like a metronome of doom, arms crossed like she was auditioning for a role as neighborhood security. "Excuse me, sir," she snapped. "This is a private community pond. Fishing is strictly prohibited according to HOA Regulation 7.3 subsection B." Grandpa Joe, calm as ever, tipped his hat and replied, "Been fishing here since before that rule was written, ma'am. I'm not hurting anyone." That's when she pulled out her phone. "If you won't leave, I'll have to call the authorities." Grandpa chuckled, thinking it was an empty threat, until 10 minutes later, 2 police officers showed up, trying to hold back awkward smiles. "Sir," one officer said, "we got a call about unauthorized fishing on private property." Grandpa raised an eyebrow. "You serious?" The other officer nodded sheepishly. "Unfortunately, yes. HOA complaints count as community disturbances." Meanwhile, neighbors began gathering, watching the ridiculous scene unfold. One kid whispered, "That's a fishing grandpa. He gives us gum when we walk by." Another neighbor shouted, "Leave Joe alone, Karen." Karen fumed, insisting rules were rules, waving her laminated HOA booklet like it was the Constitution. But then, something unexpected happened. One of the officers turned to Karen and said, "Ma'am, we've reviewed the complaint, and honestly, this seems more like a personal issue than a legal one. We're not here to ticket grandpas for fishing." The crowd clapped. Grandpa Joe winked at Karen, reeled in his line, and added, "Guess the fish ain't biting today anyway." As the cops left and Karen stormed off, muttering about lawlessness and anarchy, Grandpa settled back into his chair, cast his line again, and said to no one in particular, "Funny how peace bothers some folks more than trouble ever could."